Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo.
Hello everyone and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host Stephen White, and with me as always is Todd Stark.
You were so energetic today.
I am, because returning with us today on our momentous 50th episode is someone you should all be familiar with by now, as he kicks off the show every week for us with that smooth, buttery voice. He is also our very first guest that we ever had on the show. Please welcome back Epleb.
Hello, everybody.
How have you been, buddy?
It's been good. It's been hot. It is the middle of summer here in Texas.
Yes, sirree. It is
ass.
hot all over, but I cannot imagine what it feels like down there.
No, it feels like Mexico.
It feels like a cooking pot.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced 110-degree weather, and I don't want to. So, good on you for struggling through it.
I could put cookie dough in my car, and then I would have fresh cookies, and my car would smell like fresh cookies.
That's true. That's true. You could. So try to find a reason to liven it up a little bit, I guess. Cooking. Hang on, Todd's fighting a stinging wasp. Please.
I think he fell.
Is it a hairball?
No, it's just a regular old wasp.
Okay. Because if he stings me throughout the rest of the show, we're gonna have a problem.
I have afterbite if he stings you.
And he should go after you since you're the one that attacked him.
He is. He was kind of pissed because I heard him buzzing against the cup. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he said, "Man, forget you."
Yeah, he was pretty pissed. But anyway, Epleb, since you've been struggling with the heat, what have you been playing to help combat that heat?
Well, there's plenty of games out there that you can go to that have that cold Arctic vibe around. Lots of games featuring snow, featuring cold weather, and several that I can think of off of the top of my head would be The Long Dark, the Northern Canadian Tundra Survival Simulator, in which you play a lone airplaneman who goes down in the middle of the Yukon, and during the worst solar flares that take out all the electrical equipment on Earth, and you have to continue on his journey and figure out how to survive. It's been released episodically, I believe, just chapter by chapter. Mm-hmm. And each chapter progresses his story with each new perilous survival mission to overtake. It's quite an interesting game, and if you're feeling very hot, that's a game to cool down really fast with.
See, nice. I'm pretty sure I've seen that game. I feel like I've watched someone stream it, which is very possible, but I didn't realize it was episodic, like you'd mentioned. So, I mean, that's interesting. It kind of makes me want to actually try it out. What are you doing? Did he get up?
No, I don't even know where he went.
Okay.
I'm
defensive now. I don't want to get stung.
Like, where did the wasp go?
I don't know.
Well, the game has also been in pre-alpha forever. It was one of those Steam Greenlight games that actually finally became something after 4 years of development. And it's still in development, as you can see, because they're releasing it episodically.
Yeah.
But still, if you're patient and you're understanding of devs and their work, then yeah, it's something that's worth the wait. Absolutely.
It sounds fun. I'm sold. Just anything to do with survival and kind of, I know it's not like post-apocalyptic, but like solar flares took out a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm for that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope if they added zombies, I would just jump right in. Both feet.
That's true.
Because I love zombies.
I think you'll have your hands full with the wolves and the bears already.
Yeah. That's good too, though.
And not to mention just the bitter cold.
Mm-hmm. And Todd, what game would you play to beat the heat?
To beat the heat, I don't know. Like, I would just keep playing Far Cry 5. I'm in love with that game right now.
How is that helping beat the heat?
I don't know. You're in Montana. It's not very hot up there, I guess.
I don't know. I've never been to Montana.
There's snow. No, there's actually not in this game. There's no snow. I don't believe. I'm trying to think if I got on top of the mountain, was there snow? There's zero snow in this game. But, like, it cools me off.
Okay, that's good.
But to beat the heat,
Like if you were going to go for cold in Far Cry, I would have said Far Cry 4. That's set on top of a mountain.
That would be a good one, but I didn't like Far Cry 4 as much. I liked 3. 4 didn't capture me as good. But I really like 5. I guess, I don't know, I like the whole cult thing, but
Yeah.
I guess...
I thought 4's map was too large.
Yes, it
There was
was.
just too much to it, and it was just filled with just stuff to do that was always the same stuff to do in every other part of the map.
Yeah. Well, this one, like, to me, I feel like they don't throw all that stuff. You know how, like, as soon as you start Far Cry, you feel like you can see everything you can do?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. This one, it doesn't do that. There's like about 5 or 6, there's 3 regions, maybe 4. I think it's 3 regions. And there's maybe one big central place in each region. And when you go there, you start finding outposts. Like they send you on these missions to, like, they took over the visitor center, you know, in the park. You got to go get that's one of the outposts. It doesn't throw it all at you at once. And I like that way better because you get to discover, and I don't feel overwhelmed right off the bat. Mm-hmm. But what's the name of it? What am I thinking of? Uncharted 2. There's a cold area in that. That would beat the heat for me. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's my pick for a cold weather game.
Okay. I mean, I had a few. I was sitting there thinking, since we're talking about icy environments, the game Never Alone.
Icebreakers. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I love that
You're,
game.
with the little Eskimo. I know they had the tribe name. Can't remember what their name starts with an I.
Yeah.
And it's slipping my mind.
No, I'm not even going to try.
It's somewhere in there.
Something
Yeah.
like an Eskew, something like that.
And
I think it just meant Eskimo
like
with an I. I don't know.
Yeah, I hate to just generalize it as Eskimos, but anyway, you're a little girl. You meet what was the little wolf?
Little fox.
Little fox. And then you're traversing the area, and you're learning a lot about the culture of that tribe, which I always found to be very interesting.
was
It's a great little story. And again, you feel like you're in the depths of the Arctic. So that would be my pick. I think it's a pretty fun little game. And I think there was some DLC that came out that I never actually got to try out, but would be fun to kind of go back and try out.
I believe I can't remember if I played it or not. I might not have. I cried. Well, I ain't going to say it. Yeah. I cried at the end of that game.
Did you?
I was sad.
Epleb, did you ever play that one?
No, I never played that one. I've seen it, though. It looks very good.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a nice little platformer. Mm-hmm. Puzzle platformer, I guess.
Yeah, that would be about right.
Yeah. I just remember the Northern Lights. They treated them like ghosts. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Like I said, it's very clever how they worked in the culture into the game, which I always kind of appreciate when they can do that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just some half-baked idea or anything like that. You really weave it into the narrative.
Well, am I right when I say like a lot of the proceeds went to that tribe? Mm-hmm. Okay, I thought so because they spent a lot of time with that tribe making this game and learning their lore and background. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a very fine line between being cultural and being exploitive about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would like to have some sort of authenticator behind it all to go, yes, this is true within our culture, et cetera, and I'm certain that they would have in this project.
Correct. You got any others, Epleb?
Well, whenever I think about I can't beat the heat, I just think, why not just join it? So one thought I had was Assassin's Creed, the latest one, Origins, set in the Egyptian desert.
That would be hot.
The heat just adds to the immersion when you're walking through the desert on your camel and you're literally seeing hallucinations in front of you. The heat actually kind of amplifies it a little bit when you're already having hallucinations of yourself from the dehydration.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being proper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see myself all the time.
I mean, why not immerse yourself, give you the full 4D experience? I like that. Todd, you got any others?
Give you the whole 110 degrees straight to your face.
Oh, yeah.
All up on the face.
And how? Just open up a window and let the sun hit you right in the face.
Just play it in the sun. Mm-hmm. Throw your TV outside.
In your couch.
Yeah.
A real redneck experience.
I've done that. Mm-hmm. Let's see, another game to beat the heat or join the heat?
Either way.
Okay, join the heat. I have no clue.
No clue?
If you don't say Doom, you are so wrong.
No, yeah,
Say
well,
Doom.
I guess, yeah, I did play New Doom. Yeah.
Now, that would be adding to the heat.
Yeah, that'd be like you're in hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I cheated because he told me. I didn't really
You didn't, but
didn't pick it
I'm go with it.
I guess I'm going to say Doom VR.
There you go.
There.
Now that would be
VR,
immersive.
there you
Not
go.
just the
Doom
heat,
VR.
but in it all the way.
I have a new cool one though. BioShock. I'm pretty sure it's probably cool down there.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Surrounded by water, underwater city.
It's a
Yeah,
very
I could take a swim in that.
Now, for me, if we're going to immerse ourselves in the heat, why not do it with some style and play Super Mario Sunshine on the beach? So you're in the heat, you're looking at the tropical surroundings, and you just feel like, hey, I'm playing in the water in the heat.
That's a Mario game.
And he has a water gun, right?
Right. That's what you do in the summertime.
He
You
has
play with
nipples.
water guns.
No, he has no nipples.
We're not talking about that game. We're
No,
talking
I'm
about
just saying
Sunshine.
he should have nipples if he's going to be on the beach.
He doesn't wear a bathing suit in that. He just has his little short sleeve shirt and his little flood.
Does he have a tattoo?
He does not.
That'll be the next thing. They'll put a tattoo on him.
It says mother,
Mom. Yeah, I love my mom.
Why not?
I think so. I think they ought to just do something crazy like it just to hear what the internet would say.
They would say enough.
Yeah.
I think
wanna
we've already
hear what
heard
they say,
enough.
though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd say.
I don't know.
I'm sure it would. Oh God, he's tainted. I can't believe Mario's tainted.
He's white trash.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you remember the uproar that they had when he had nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one thing or the other, the internet's going to get mad.
What about the gray hair? He had a gray hair one time.
Did he?
Yeah, the clouds.
Oh
yeah,
yes,
remember?
that's right.
He's aged.
Some sort of one stray hair.
I mean, I have 5 stray hairs, but I haven't aged.
Mm-hmm.
I get a new one every so often, but I'm still 39. You
Yeah.
know?
It happens.
It does. I have a kid and a wife.
Ep, you got any other choices?
Well, another one to beat the heat is, of course, Skyrim.
Skyrim.
When you're just traveling across the tundra wastelands, fighting off bandits, and the only heat you're ever going to feel in that game is from your torch or from your fireball spell.
Or the dragon.
Or the dragon.
Or the dragons,
Yeah.
unless you're fighting the ice dragon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most people would be looking for the ice dragon at this point in time.
That's true. That's true. A whole Game of Thrones scenario. You really want that ice dragon.
Yeah, I hate that they got that dragon
That's okay. We'll see what happens next year.
next year. And then that's it.
Yep, and that's it. Had to wait 2 years for that crap. Anyway, any other games?
No.
No. You're running dry. You didn't even think, did you?
No, like I've just been concentrating on Far Cry, and usually I think what messed me up was it's usually what are you playing, not.
Well, we kind of mixed it up a little bit.
I didn't get that memo.
That's okay. Sometimes you just got to go with it, man.
Yeah, I kind of went with it and kind of screwed it up at the same
you
time.
messed it all up. How about Ice Climbers? You want to play Ice
I was going
Climbers?
to say that as a joke while ago. I hate that game.
But it's
They give
it's a
that game
fun,
away
icy game.
every time they have a new system. Hey, you
They
get
do.
Ice Climbers, and I'm supposed to be excited.
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
No, I'm still mad that I always wanted to play the Wrecking Crew? What is
Yeah, the Wrecking Crew.
I never could find that game.
Yeah, it was one of the hard ones to
Was it a
come
good game?
across.
I never got to play it.
I don't think it was anything you missed.
Well, maybe it looked like Mario.
Yeah, it was, but it's passable to just say you didn't miss anything.
I tell you what, I miss John.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
haven't said that in a while.
Well, he's not
20
coming back.
It's been 42 episodes without him.
He's not coming back.
I thought I seen him.
I don't think he's coming back.
He might.
No, he's not.
51, he's coming back.
Well, we'll see. Let's see, what else do I got? I had a few that I was trying to think of what would be really good. There was a game called Abzu. Do you remember that?
The scuba diving kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and you're kind of under the water, just kind of exploring everything. That would be a good one to.
Was that not made by the people that did Journey? Or somebody like the director
don't
from
think
Journey?
it was the same ones that did Journey.
But was there somebody related to Journey on that game? I feel like it was for some reason.
I don't recall. I don't think so.
What did the people that did Journey, what did they do after Journey? What am I thinking of?
Not that one.
No, well, maybe I'm just
I can't
crazy.
remember.
I thought that was the one they did, and it was like another underwater journey,
But it wasn't that
but
one.
it wasn't Journey.
No, it wasn't
that.
Journey.
Okay, like I'm just
Okay,
gonna
well,
shut up.
anyway, I was just going to say Abzu.
Abzu.
You're under the water. You're cooling off.
Yes, Absu.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a fun one.
Yeah.
To kind of beat the heat, and you can just imagine yourself in the nice cold depths of the ocean.
But you've played that game, right?
I have.
See, I have it. I have not played it.
It's fun.
Is it got a good ending?
Yeah, I feel like it does.
Okay.
Very reminiscent of Journey.
Because people from Journey made that game.
I really don't think so. But if I'm wrong, you know what, people? Comment down below wherever you're listening and let me know that I'm wrong.
I won't do that. I will just say, hey, like they honestly one person.
Okay,
did.
well, you can look it up right now.
That's what I'm going to do.
Another one that was nice and set into the open ocean, like you just said, like Abzu, is another indie game that came out recently this year, back in May, actually, right at the start of the summer, called Raft, in which you're floating on a raft in the endless ocean, and you have to pick up debris that floats by your raft to keep your raft maintained and stocked with food, water, and wood to keep afloat.
I have not heard of this one.
All while there's
I've seen,
sharks and other such dangerous predators around in the water hunting after you, trying to destroy your raft.
How did
I've seen
I miss
somebody
this?
on YouTube play that. It looked cool. Yeah, I think he threw some kind of like a fishing rod off and grabbed some of the stuff as you pass. Is that how it goes?
Yep, you throw a little fishing rod to catch little debris that's floating by your ship and you can get better things.
I'm going to have to look this up. How did I miss this game?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What happens
Yeah,
nowadays?
here you
You
go.
just miss them.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm going to have to look that up. Well, Epleb, do you have any other games to throw out there to us?
No, that one I just actually pulled right out of my butt just a second ago.
Well, very good. Okay. Well, let's go.
There is one person from that game company.
Okay,
who did
so
Journey.
you were
one of the founders for Abzu.
Okay, so
I
you're just
thought I remembered that
slightly right.
slightly. That's what I thought. I thought somebody that was at that game company.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then I'm going to move on.
Let's do it.
Unless you're fine.
No, I'm fine.
You
Yeah,
good?
yeah.
Okay.
In my head, I thought I was remembered that.
Okay, well, I'm going to get back on track for you.
Okay,
It's okay.
good. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. 50
Epleb,
episodes.
what have you actually been playing lately?
And lately I've been playing Fallout 4 for some reason. Oh, yeah, that's right, because Lacey Finley's been streaming it, and I've been wanting to catch a character up to hers and see how much better I am at the game than she is. And I am quite better at the game than she is. I made a General Guns character, and then I collected up most of the fusion cores that I could around the map as quickly as I could. Then got my crafting up and crafted up the best power armor, jumped into the power armor, and now I literally walk around the map smacking everything in the face with a baseball bat. I just fought the Mirelurk Queen with a baseball bat. It was satisfying.
I always remember preferring, what was it, the Death Claw glove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After you killed it and put it on. You
I know
punch
it's such short range, but there's just some satisfaction in clawing something's face off with
them.
it. So,
Yeah, I can't figure out how to make that. I don't think they included it in the fourth one, did they?
They did.
No, I have no idea how to make it then.
I know there was I'm trying to think if there was a recipe you had to get, or I can't remember.
It's a mod.
I do know it's in there somewhere, so you can craft it, and it will require obviously some Death Claw material, but beyond
Which is
that,
never
I can't
fun.
remember.
I've got a
things are
few
terrible.
Deathclaw hands in my pocket.
So you should be able to make it. Look into it, because that was always one of my favorite things. Todd, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5. I should have guessed.
Yeah,
Since you said that earlier.
Yeah, I jumped off the top of a mountain and parachuted a little bit and then hit my wingsuit.
Mm-hmm.
I went probably 10 miles, it felt like. I was so far. I was on the other end of the map almost, like when I finally touched down.
Yep.
I was like, that's awesome. It kind of had that, I remember doing that in like Just Cause 3.
Right.
I'm glad they added that.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Still on Metal Gear Solid. That name always messes me up. It's like a tongue twister.
It
I don't know
is.
why it does that. But I'm still on 5, trying to get through it. I haven't had a lot of time to get into it. So it's taking it slow, but I'm getting there slowly but surely.
That's
I'm
all.
hoping I
Another good
don't.
desert game.
Yeah. That's one to join it for sure, because it's hot as hell. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping I don't crap out on it here soon, because there's another game coming out that I want to play, and then just
What
if I
game
don't
would that
finish
be?
it, I'll tell you when I get there. So we'll get there. But we're going to take a quick break real quick before we get into the news, and we'll do that right after this.
Out there, killer, the monster, a force of evil. You try to listen between breaths as a chill runs down your spine. You tell yourself it's only a podcast, but sooner or later, it's time to go home.
Hey, all you horror fans! It's your old pal Rick Morgan, and I want to welcome you to the House of Wax podcast. I cover the greatest horror movies ever made, and I also share with you what it is in these movies that make these classics. So how is this pod any different from the other thousands of horror podcasts? Well, first, you can actually see the episodes on my YouTube channel with all the bells and whistles you crave. And it's also a podcast, so it can travel with you. Two formats that work great together, and with upcoming side episodes filled with interviews, contests, and movie commentaries, it's sure to keep the blood pumping. So join us and become a horror maniac at the House of Wax. That's Wax, WHACKS, a proud member of Legion Podcast. Catch us everywhere you listen to pods. So it's time you give it a listen. Let's go!
All right, we're back. Ready to get into some news, guys?
Is there a lot of news or just a little this week?
Kind of a little beefier than last week, but not by much.
I haven't seen anything all week, and I think I looked a little bit today, and some things was trying to trickle in, but
yeah, it's been kind of meh. So, comment as you will on what you think of this news. The first thing I've got here is I feel like this is a little strange to me. Maybe you guys will feel differently. I say it mainly because it shows how much I don't know about the world sometimes. Now, when I hear the name Saudi Arabia, the last thing that comes to mind is video games. Would that be a fair assessment?
you know, like I'm always surprised to find out that where games are being made sometimes. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Epleb, were you aware that they played video games?
Well, once upon a time, I was part of a development team, and we had started a Kickstarter, and our largest supporter came from Abu Dhabi, actually.
Wow.
Abu Dhabi, it makes me think of Man in the Moon.
Anyway, believe it or not, there are kids that play them there too. I didn't know this. While actually learning this fact, it seems that they actually too must contend with the issue of government interference and censorship. Now, this actually comes off the heels of a tragic situation where 2 children committed suicide after, as it was reported, an online game encouraged them to do so. Now, because of this, the Saudi General Commission of Audio and Visual Media said that it was banning over 47 different games from the country for unspecified violations of rules and regulations. There was a full list of games, but it was not provided. But some of the big ones that you can imagine would be on there, like Grand Theft Auto 5, Assassin's Creed, and The Witcher. But what's funny is the game that's in question is called Blue Whale. Have either of you heard of this game?
I heard about the Blue
Whale
Challenge.
never heard of it.
Okay, what it is it's a game where it gives players a series of things to complete, to do. And it's things like it'll say, scratch your arm, you scratch your arm. And then go up and pick up a book and just random things to do. But at the end of the game, it tells you to kill yourself. And that's what these little kids did, playing this game.
Idiots.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is actually fairly new to me. I've never heard of this before, but the game has actually been around since 2016 and has plagued other countries like China, Russia, and even the U.S. and has led to numerous suicides. So I kind of feel like...
That blows my mind.
Yeah, for sure. And
The game has a rating?
well, that's what I'm kind of curious
Rated
about.
mature or anything?
That's what I'm kind of curious about because I'm feeling like it's falling under some sort of radar where it's not on, like some people are aware of it, but not the right people. Because I feel like that should be the target here, not other games.
Yeah, it's almost like the Ring of video games.
Yeah. So if there's something out there like this is causing this, that needs to be taken into account, not other games and being blamed for it. It's this game. This is the problem.
I know, it's crazy to think that. I mean, one, like, Okay, pick up a book. Okay, scratch your arm. And then you go all the way through and it's kill yourself. Okay, off. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I lose the game.
Exactly. And that's kind of where I guess they're trying to get you.
Well, when I go to the Steam page, it automatically goes to this is not appropriate for children or viewing at work. So really, the parents should be in control of what games these kids are playing, especially if it comes off of Steam. Now, I'm sure that there's some sort of parental lock that forbids them from buying just any video game off of this platform.
There should be. And it's funny that you even brought that up because that'll get into one of our other stories later on. Because it's just, I mean, the fact that it's even on Steam, I'm sure the developers can argue, well, it's not our intention, blah, blah. But there are impressionable people out there who are going to do this, especially children.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, what if it said you had two kids playing, go kill your best friend? What then?
Yeah. Best friend dead.
To beat the game, you have to do this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But, like the developers themselves should know better than to do such a cheap, silly ploy. It is a touch of something different, I guess, but still, come on, guys. You got to think about what you're doing before you put these games out.
For sure.
This isn't exactly correct either on anyone's side, on the country side, for trying to ban these games from complete out censorship, or this guy trying to just make some sort of shock thing just for the sake of shock thing.
Exactly.
We already have enough shock things.
Mm-hmm.
Make something new.
For sure.
Not something shocking.
And if Steam were a better place to stop putting up garbage games, this should be down by now, but they're still going to allow it. So
Yeah, because they let you put anything on there.
They do.
That's
a whole other topic. I'm going to move on to our next story. The Ubisoft got hit with a DDoS attack last week. And they had servers for games like Far Cry 5, For Honor, and Ghost Recon Wildlands down for several days while Ubisoft scrambled to mitigate the issue. Now, there is no word as of yet to the source of the attack, but Ubisoft is offering up some compensation for players to make it up for the issues.
What are they going to do? Because, I remember when that happened. I could not, it would not get on the server at all.
I'm sure they're going to just, whatever in correlation to your game, they're going to give you something to kind of, here's some extra cash, or here's a costume or something.
Exactly.
Have a hat.
Yeah.
We're to give me an airplane.
It's fun.
With machine guns.
Yeah.
Cost saved me $200 in the game, and it's hard to get money. I just got that.
Well, now maybe you'll be able to afford it now. They're going to give you the money.
I got 80 silver bars now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, damn it. I need more. Give me silver bars.
Was Siege affected by this DDoS attack?
Not to my knowledge. There were a handful of different games that they listed, but that was not one of them that I saw.
Fun.
Yeah.
Why is that fun?
I don't know.
Let's do a DDoS attack.
Yeah.
And they eat popcorn and hit a button and touch each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much fun.
They love it. It gives them a sense of control when they can disrupt something.
And all they really did was probably one person. All they did was they paid $60 for that little box that screws everything up. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is.
So it's just a power.
Maybe there's something deeper behind the story. Maybe it was just some little hacker brother's kid. And hey, I figured out how to hack. Look what I can do.
Exactly. Because again, right now we don't know where it came from.
Throw him in jail. He goes to jail.
Well,
in my America, he goes to jail. I'm making America great again.
Well, you see, in today's America, and I'm not going to go off far.
No, just
but you can hang an infant and get off scot-free.
No, you couldn't, but one person could.
Mm-hmm.
But he would say, "I didn't mean to do that."
I just got to say that. I'm not going to get political. Not going to get political.
It's okay.
It just made me mad.
It's okay. We can do that.
Baby lynching's not my thing. Thank you.
Yeah, we're just not going to do that. All right, so let's get into some quickets before we go too far down a rabbit hole. All right, well, we talked about the whole Nathan Fillion's secret Twitter, and we found out this week that it was a short fan film that he and a couple of people made.
It was beautiful.
Where he got to be Nathan Drake.
He is Nathan Drake.
He is. I mean,
perfect.
Seeing Tom Holland do that later on is just not going to be the same. And despite people saying, "Oh, Nathan Fillion's too old,"
no, he's not.
It still worked.
Oh, it was perfect, dude. He had the laugh, the mannerisms, just the wit.
Quirks.
It was great. Perfect. I forgot that he didn't do the voice. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, is this video going to be monetized or anything in any way? Like, are they planning on selling this short film? Like, they could make a buck easily off of this.
There was some talk afterwards that this could lead to something more.
I think that's what this is really about.
But I feel like right now that's a long shot, considering they've already got a movie in the works. But I mean, I'm in for it. I'd love to see this be taken the next step and actually get a full movie out of it.
Or just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it because they left it on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm. So,
or this could be an example of a short film showing in Hollywood how to exactly do a video game character movie.
They got it perfect. Have you seen it yet, Epleb?
No, I had not yet.
Oh man, they got one part where, you know, in Uncharted, where after a cut scene, say he makes an escape and he hits the ground and gets up and dusts himself off, and he says, "All right, well, let's get to work," and he'll pull his gun out, and then the camera swings around behind him, just like that. It's
they
perfect.
did that shot.
Oh yeah, they did that, and it worked so good. I've not seen like a movie from a video game do something where they actually pulled it off like that. It was great.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're just doing it wrong in Hollywood, and they should just get people that are passionate about the video games to make their video game movies.
That's a lot of
that way they know what shots to pull off and etc. like that.
Yeah.
Well, they also need to kind of keep studio interference out of the way.
Keep the suits
because I'm sure that there has not been one video game based movie where the director or the writers or whoever's in charge really had the creative control that they needed if they were passionate about it, because it doesn't seem like it's ever been I love this, I'm going to make this the greatest thing ever because I love this franchise so much. It's always been like, hey, let's make a movie of this and what can we do that's like out of the game? Oh, yeah, let's put that in there, and that'll be good. And I'll put that in there, too. That's good.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Let's just throw a bunch of stuff that don't make sense. Look at Resident Evil.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on those.
Yeah, they started off with decent, and then just right off the edge of a mountain.
I've never been a fan from day one, so...
Well, when they started off with the recognizable monsters in Resident Evil, it was good. And then when they got to here's more of the same recognizable monsters and crazy laser traps, that's when it kind of lost me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, part 2, it ended with part 2 to me.
Part 2 was out, the last one I saw.
Same here. Shadow of the Tomb Raider's M rating was rated that for intense violence, animal mauling, and, shocker, in-game purchases.
Hold on. N. What does N stand for? Anybody?
M.
M. I thought you said N. I'm like, I've never heard N before.
Mature.
Like M for mature.
Yeah. But the in-game purchases are the reason I kind of brought it up. That's interesting that it's being attached to ratings.
That's good, though. That is a good thing.
So, but is it really?
Yeah, because like for me, that actually, like, say I'm buying a game for Peyton, and I actually see, because I look at the game she plays.
Well, that's my point.
Right.
For people who are going to pay attention, we'll get to that momentarily because he brought it up, you brought it up. It's going to be a topic here very shortly. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout Beta was announced. It's coming on the 1st to PS4.
Okay, I'm pumped for this right now.
August
I don't know
3rd.
why.
I don't know either. I don't want to play it.
The zombies. I mean,
I'm not interested in Black Ops 4. Online only this time, right?
Yeah. I'll just play it for the zombies. But I seen a trailer today for the zombies.
Well, you have no internet for zombies.
No. You can still, like, it'll be a disc-based game.
Okay.
This game will have a disc.
I played Call of Duty since the beginning, and I'm just sad to see the downward spiral that this game took. And now it's going back to World War II. I'm just like, why, guys? What are you doing? And now they're jumping back to Black Ops 4, and I'm like, why, guys? Just pick a war and stick with it.
Yeah, well, they got 3 separate universes going, with 3 different studios.
Very true, but still, don't you think we could kind of rein it in a little bit,
Well, I'm disappointed that they don't have a single player. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I guess with Call of Duty, they figured out, hey, we're not nobody's playing the single player. You know what I mean? Because they can tell by what trophies are captured, and if they've sold 15 million and 1 million people played the single player, there's no sense in putting that in there because we're not making money on the single player. Nobody's
What if I
buying-
told you I actually liked the single player?
Yeah, I like it.
thought
I
it
think
was
it's
the only
disappointing.
appealing thing to Black Ops for me.
Yeah.
But
I
see,
wish they
well,
had it.
we're in the minority here.
Yeah. Because I would rather play a single player game as to play an online game.
I would too. I mean, there are times where I like playing online. It just depends on what the game is.
Right.
You know.
Speaking of which, I seen that Friday the 13th was $19. I almost bought it the other day, but then I started thinking I don't know that it would be good because of the lawsuit.
Well, hold on to that thought too, because we'll get into that too.
We'll just see how long that game stays alive, even.
So anyway, screw Black Ops and all that.
Hey, don't say that. The zombies are cool, man.
All right, well, we're going to talk about zombies. How about The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners announced for VR with a launch window of 2019?
Too far away.
Right, but
what's it
VR
about?
and zombies.
Yeah, what's it about?
I don't know. Walking Dead.
Is it a game or like an experience?
They said it. I'm assuming it's a game because the way they kind of touted it, it's a online, not an online. I don't know, a VR experience. That's the word I was looking for. VR.
Right. Now, is it made by Activision?
Not that I know of.
Good.
But it is being produced by Skybound, and it will be a currently announced just for the Vive and Oculus. But it seems very likely that we could see it on the PSVR.
Why do they do that?
Because they're
My voice
popular
just got so
platforms.
high up right then. I'm pissed.
It's okay.
Give
it time.
That's the market leader.
Give it time.
Well, when it comes to Walking Dead games, one that I'm really looking forward to is Overkill's The Walking
me
Dead.
too.
Yes.
The same guys that did Payday and Payday 2, where it's a four-person co-op multiplayer game where you're fighting off hordes and hordes of zombies.
I'm ready.
And there's going to be a noise meter of sorts. So however much noise you're making on the map determines how many zombies are going to be attracted to your position. And you kind of have to play it smart and play it cool. You can't attract too many without your tanks being overwhelmed, and you can't get to the good stuff without getting through all the zombies. So, pick your battles.
Do you remember when Xbox One came out for the first, at first, and they had the Kinect with it and everything, and they had Dead Rising 3, and there was they used the camera to capture your noise at certain points, and if you made too much noise, the zombies would attack you. Mm-hmm. That would be cool. You just walk in, just scream, and get somebody screwed up.
Wasn't there another game that did that recently?
I don't know.
Alien Isolation did it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, cool.
You were walking around in a corridor, and some random steam mist thing scared you when you screamed. Oh, hi, alien. I didn't mean to attract you.
I do remember that.
I was scared.
Because I think I actually, when I was playing it, I shut it off because I was like, this house is never quiet, so I will die. So just forget it.
Over with.
What else we got?
It's not something I would recommend playing with children.
No.
A feature I would play if you had children. Absolutely not.
Right. Next we got Devolver Digital's Crossing Souls is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Have either of you seen that?
No.
I actually looked into it because it sounded interesting, and it kind of has a, I guess it's tapping into a lot of 80s nostalgia,
right?
Which would be, I guess, the more appropriate way to really look at it, because the graphics kind of have that old school look to it. A lot of the ideas and tropes in the game are like Goonies and Back to the Future and things like that. So it looks interesting. Whether or not it's just to kind of placate on your nostalgia or not, I don't know, but it looks interesting.
And Devolver Digital, they usually do pretty good.
Exactly, and that's what kind of got me interested in at least checking it out at some point. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Master Cycle Zero is now available for Mario Kart 8. If you play that. Yeah? No,
I'm out.
Okay. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch will release on August 28th with a bonus Link gear, like the outfit from Breath of the Wild, and as well as Korok gear for your Palicos, so you can dress it up like a little tree person.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always liked how they did the Palicos little stuff on there.
Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, where I said that we were going to get back on this subject. A report came out last week that said video game ratings are ignored by 50% of parents who buy games for their children. See, it doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it doesn't.
And this is why we have these issues where Epleb, like you were talking about with Steam, you got parents who probably don't care what their kids buy, so they're like, "Hey, can I buy this game called Blue Whale?" They're like, "Blue Whale? That sounds okay. Yeah, go ahead and buy it. It's fine." And then, you know, at least you're paying attention to whatever you buy.
Yeah.
So you've got these parents out there that just don't give a shit.
No, they don't. And they don't.
Well, this is an issue we've been railing on for almost 25 years now, ever since Mortal Kombat came out. And people have been saying, well, you guys just need to get more. Really, the end issue is the parents need to get more involved with their kids' lives and see what games they're playing. Or even, hey, play the games with them, see what the game's all about.
Right.
Now, this Blue Whale thing, as soon as that Kill Yourself popped up on the screen and I was a parent, I'd be like, you're not playing this game anymore, and I'm going to be watching anything else that you ever play ever again, because I am not sure what these devs are going to try and pull on you, especially if there was no warning about this. But clearly there's a warning on Steam. This is intended for mature audiences. So once again, if parents just need to be involved with their kids and what they're doing.
I agree. 100%.
I seen a little, 10-year-old kid come in there and his grandmama bought him Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm sitting there thinking, I can't believe she would not at least look at it. You know?
I remember when I went to see Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back in the theaters.
Right.
And sitting right in front of me was an older woman, and I'm assuming her grandson. The moment the obscenities just started flying out of his mouth, she tried to drag him up, and he refused. So they sat there the whole time, and I'm sitting there going, no, he is not in charge of you. You yank him up, and you beat the hell out of him and drag him out of that theater.
Right. Exactly.
It kills me that that's where we're at now, where the children seem to have some sort of, sway, like they're in power. I don't think so.
No.
That's not how it works. What do we got here? Oh, rumors of a sequel to Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe were squashed this week.
Are you happy about that?
Depends.
Well,
like the original was garbage. I'm not going to try to defend it one way or the other. But
what was garbage about it? Because a lot of people enjoyed it.
The controls were a little off.
Right.
The whole fatality versus I don't remember
I
what
guess the
heroic
superheroes didn't
brutality or whatever the hell they called it as their finishers. I guess I can kind of get that, but they tamed it, And DC right now is way off into mature territory, so taming it now is just stupid.
Right.
So I feel like if you did it, it would look better, especially today, because I hate to say this and make it sound bad, but the Mortal Kombat games and the Injustice games almost look interchangeable in a manner of speaking, with the character designs and all that. Plus, you have characters crossing in and out of both franchises. So that's, you could do it and probably make more sense of it, maybe a better story surrounding it. But at the same time, is it necessary? Nah.
It's not. But what they ought to do is let the people from Mortal Kombat have their fatalities. And the superheroes, whatever their finishing move is, it just kind of mix them like that.
Yeah.
Where they might rip off Superman's head.
It's not like a bad thing if they did it that way. But it was always just one of those, you're talking about, this is Mortal Kombat we're talking about here.
Right.
Okay, the moment you just start putting in ridiculous, well, of course, I'm going to say start putting in ridiculousness, and we're talking about fatalities and babalities and friendships.
Well, if you just dumb it down and I don't know, tame it, like you said. It's Mortal Kombat's never been tamed.
Exactly. So, I don't know. It's not a big loss for me. Monster Hunter World's Rathalos is coming to Final Fantasy XIV Online. I actually saw a video. You actually get to ride one, which is pretty cool.
I did see that too.
It almost got me excited because for a moment I was like, "This is coming to Monster Hunter." I was like, "No, this is the wrong game."
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy. Sorry.
Yeah. Call of Cthulhu has a release date of October 30th. I think we've been talking about that since last year.
Yeah, I'm ready to play that game.
Mega Man Fully Charged premieres on Cartoon Network on August 5th. I'm going to give that a look.
Yes, definitely.
Multiplayer for the farming simulator Stardew Valley is happening on August 1st. I know that there's been a lot of people looking forward to that.
I think Lacey, she streams out a ton.
That's very excellent. Have you tried it?
I haven't yet. I think it was a free game on PlayStation Plus at one time, and I completely just I overlooked it, and I beat myself up about it all the time now. And I'm like, I need to break down and buy
so
it.
you've never played it at all?
No, and I know I
lose 40 hours of your life if you do. It is one of those games you will easily sink your teeth into because it's just that routine of always progressing. Mm-hmm. Every little bitty thing you do progresses you to the greater good in the game, unless you do nothing.
Sure. Now, yeah, I think that's probably been one of the things that's kept me from buying it is because it reminds me so much of Harvest Moon, and I sunk a lot of time into those games. And I feel like
if you enjoyed Harvest Moon, you will love Stardew Valley.
Yeah, and that's my fear.
And that might not be
I believe I have this game.
Probably do.
I think you're right. I think I have it in my PS Plus library.
I looked at, or for whatever reason, I just didn't add it to my library, and I'm kicking myself every day since.
And am I right though? Does Lacey stream that a lot?
She has.
Okay, I thought I remember seeing her.
Quite a few of them have. What else we got? Resident Evil 2's narrative was said to be greatly improved. I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
because like if it was the same today, we'd be like, "Why did I like this?"
Yeah,
what? Just bring the zombies on.
I mean, it was good for the time, but it does need a step up.
Well, I just hope that they keep a lot of the camp value in it. Like
Sure.
I would like to still see a B-rate horror movie. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see a whole lot of corporate espionage intrigue that it eventually turned into in 2 and 3, and I'm just like. Can't we just have zombies attacking a town, guys? Can't we just kill the virus off?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they've left it like that.
And it needs to be like that. Because even when they were talking about the inclusion of the giant alligator in the sewer, I think is what it was.
Right.
I was like, yes,
Thank
good.
you.
And then they're even adding in the other characters, like the secret characters, like Hunk and, was it Tofu? The little piece of tofu?
Oh, yeah, you could be at the tofu block. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you beat mercenaries with Hunk, get to play as Tofu, and Tofu's even more ridiculous than Hunk.
So, I mean, you get to play those characters again, which is awesome.
Okay, like in Resident Evil 2, is there a part where you go down in I'm thinking of the sewer, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go down into the sewer, and when you go in there and you start getting to a certain point, you see somebody through their eyes following you, or is that part 4?
I'm pretty sure that was...
Sounds like part 2.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's one of my that scared me so bad when I was younger. I just can't wait to play it again.
Yeah, I remember playing it. I think I had it on the N64. Believe it or not, it's one of those games you're like, whoa, this actually made it here. And I played it so much. I played through it so many times that I had it figured out. Like I knew how to get through it fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it. A trailer for the next No Man's Sky update reveals the long-awaited multiplayer feature, which I guess a lot of those early adopters do not give one damn crap about.
You know, here's what I want to know. If you wait for this game, because how long ago did it come out? 2 years ago?
1 year ago.
No, it's only been a year.
Back in May.
Mm-hmm.
No Man's Sky came out 1 year ago?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure, because we were talking about it
last
when this
summer.
happened.
Well, that's even worse because, like, why do you not just wait one more year and put out the entire game and you don't have this problem?
Well, see, that was even funny because
they already hyped it up enough.
Exactly. They actually had an interview where it said, we had meant to put this in the game, and it's like, then why didn't you wait?
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's like we had to scrap
I would
it
think it
before
would be
launch.
kind of the publisher's fault for saying, hey, we need this game out on this time, and it needs to be done. We set a date, and if you guys aren't done with it, it will be shipped as is.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
and that was such a
what's the guy's name that heads that studio?
Sean Murphy.
Yeah, he hyped it up so much about saying everything. He should just not said anything.
Yeah.
You know, just do your little talk about the game. Keep showing it because what they were showing was capturing everybody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Just those simple things that you do in the original game. Okay, and then like, you know, here and there pepper things in what you hope, but then like, I think Sony would have waited.
They should have.
I think they would have. I think these guys said we're going to go ahead and put it out. It could have been a thing with their studio because if I remember right, they went through a flood and everything else in the process of making this game. It could have been a thing like we need to get this game out.
Well, and that's still just not a good reason to rush out a game. If you're not ready, don't do it. Because everyone was banking on that multiplayer feature.
Right.
That was one of the biggest letdowns of the whole thing is like, I can't play with anybody.
Oh, I know.
Granted, it was kind of bare, but that idea, you can play with everybody. And infinite space.
I mean, I want to go get the game now again.
I mean, looking at the trailer, you're like, damn, if I hadn't played this already, I would be so hyped.
Right.
But it's
Exactly.
that initial, I played it already kind of, and I'm just hesitant to go back. So
Okay, do you think they're missing the
From
boat?
from the original trailer, I remember them mentioning, there's factions and conclaves and other sorts of things you can join. And there was, in fact, a formation of ships flying in front of you in a spectacular fashion. And it was just kind of
Nothing.
not there at all. None of it. And it was like, well, I guess this was meant for the multiplayer that never happened.
yeah.
Right.
And hey, maybe that's something they can bring in with factions and conclaves and things like that, of people warring and vying each over economic control in certain parts of the infinite galaxy that they procedurally generated. But we'll see.
I think he's right. It was
I
supposed to be.
did enjoy what I heard about, I don't know if this happened in a recent update or is this happening in this update, but how, kind of like you were talking about, the ecosystems will now be kind of within a certain galaxy. All your resources, the value, the economic status of that galaxy will hinge on all the planets surrounding it.
Right.
So it'll have its own ecosystem based on that, which I think is, I mean, that's a pretty awesome idea. Just wish it would have been there to kind of keep me into it early on. And on the opposite side of updates, we have the full removal of all microtransactions in Shadow of War. Happened this week.
Yay!
I never even noticed the microtransactions.
I really didn't either. I mean, I'm not saying that it was a necessity for me. Could be for other people.
Yeah.
I just, they never bothered me because I guess I'm one of those people that just like, I don't need it. And I just kept moving along.
I hardly ever do microtransactions.
Well, in Shadow of War particularly, they do really shove it in your face a lot.
They do.
Every
I
time
will
you
agree.
get new items and everything, they're like, unlock new items right here. Unlock new items right here. Every single time you do the new item thing. And it was really about 1% of the people playing it that were buying it. And to the game company's eyes, hey, that's 1% more money that we're making from every player out there. So I can understand why they did it in the first place. It was still just a very shady thing to do. It wasn't cool for the actual fans of the game that want to come back and keep playing your game and spend money on it and buy it multi-platform just because they can.
Right. I mean, there was really no sense in doing it, especially based on the model that they had laid out with the orcs.
Right.
If you're supposed to be able to go out there and change, the way the orcs fight you, and you're supposed to get an enemy and, you're supposed to tame them and all this other stuff, the way they described it, and then you just say, or you can just go over here and buy one.
No,
That's just kind of stupid.
See, if I don't mind microtransactions as long as it don't go that route.
Yeah. If they need to be just something that you
Cosmetic.
don't need.
Yeah, like
it's just like,
cosmetics.
I want that. I want it.
Right.
Not a necessity for the game.
Right.
All right.
I think that microtransactions should be put in the store and not in the game. When you go to the game store page, you should be able to buy microtransactions there. It should not be shoved in your face when you're trying to enjoy the game.
No, absolutely not. All right. What do we got? The next story I've got is Amazon got into a little bit of hot water last week during their Prime Day sale. There was a few keen-eyed shoppers noticed something was a bit off. Now, there were two fairly recent releases that were being sold on Amazon, Surviving Mars and Frostpunk. What was interesting about it was that they were selling for the very low price of $4.
Did you buy it?
I did not. Now, for some people, this seemed a little suspicious since the games are still selling at a fairly full price, the $60 price tag. So one gamer decided to pay the money and investigate just to see what happens. And what he found is that they were in fact pirated versions using the GOG version of the game, then repackaged with a personal installer, then submitted to Amazon. So when you bought it and got it, the installer doesn't even work So all you get is $4 less in your wallet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And a shiny CD.
Yeah, and a shiny CD. So,
Got him.
yay. So they're kind of in a little bit of trouble for allowing that, for not picking up on it
Yeah.
for now.
They probably just thought people were selling used games.
Yeah. So we'll see. I've got one truth or trash this week, guys.
One.
Just one.
Well, it is a slow.
It has been a slow news day. Or slow news
There
week.
is one bit of news. Well, never mind. You probably might bring it up about the Xbox.
Perhaps. So, all right. So, truth or trash, guys. What do you think about this? Capcom is remaking Resident Evil 3.
Totally truth. Totally.
Epleb, truth or trash?
They don't have their own ideas, so they have to go back and rehash their old ideas that only the nostalgic fans will either really react negatively to or react very positively to. And then the new viewers are just going to go, yay, more zombies. I don't like it myself. I'm nostalgic towards the Resident Evil series. It was something of my youth, and seeing it just sort of redone and repackaged, and here you go, here's another game. I'm not on board. Like, they promised us Resident Evil 2 how many years ago? Back in the GameCube days, right after they made Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 0 was put out, and then they're like, oh, we're going to do Resident Evil 2, and it's going to be remade, and it's going to be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
10 years later, now we have a Resident Evil 2 remake. Everybody's on board, and Capcom's like, oh, okay, you want these games again. I'm sorry, Capcom, you just don't get it. You don't get it.
So, one truth, one trash?
I guess. Was that a confirmed trash, Epleb?
Is that a confirmed trash on your end, Epleb?
That's a trash.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, one truth, one trash.
All right. I like when we got a little diversity here.
I think I'm okay with it. Like, as long as they, like, what I've seen of the police station and the section that I saw, they have totally redone this kind of like a Shadow of the Colossus thing.
Yeah.
I'm okay
Okay.
with it.
Well, if you remember, Resident Evil 2 was just, or Resident Evil 3 was more or less just asset ripoffs from Resident Evil 2 because they used a lot of the same sectionings of map. A lot of the police station was the same. They just threw in one big scary monster that you couldn't kill.
Yeah.
I never played part 3.
Never?
Never.
I had to buy it off of eBay for the GameCube because it was so hard to find.
Right.
But
It's because
I think I
Resident
still
Evil
have
2
it.
was so good. Everybody's like, oh, 3 is going to be way better.
Yeah. But it was all right. You got
Was there Resident Evil 3? Was that Nemesis? Is that
Yeah.
what it's called? Okay, yeah, I remember it.
that's all they did. All right. Ready for some weird news?
Weird news.
Do you guys remember the Street Fighter movie?
Oh my God, was Jean-Claude Van Damme
Uh-huh.
trash? I'm voting now.
Of course.
Now, this was probably the first movie I walked out of the theater feeling some form of
I
disappointment.
thought you was gonna say you walked out.
No,
of it, like in the
I
middle
sat
of it.
through the whole thing, but I was just like, something's not right here. I don't feel as happy as I should right now. But I will say that Mortal Kombat trailer at the beginning of the movie, hyping that up was pretty awesome. So I was like, oh, there's that. And then it came out. It's not bad. Still, just saying. That was a highlight, and that's probably why I didn't feel just as bad, because I was still remembering that trailer. I was like, oh, I got to see Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was okay.
Yeah. No, it's probably my favorite video game-based movie.
That's yeah.
And that's
was so
kind
good.
of
The
a,
only
did
thing they
so
needed
good.
to add was a little bit of blood.
yeah.
Make it an R, add a little bit of blood. It
Yeah.
would have been the perfect video game movie.
They did it so good that the people that make Mortal Kombat base their game off the movie.
Well,
Well,
they
they
didn't
just
have
knew that a
to,
lot of kids were going to watch it.
but they didn't have to. I mean, it was a simple premise. They kept it simple.
Yeah.
They didn't try to overcomplicate and cram every character. That's where the sequel messed up. They said, you know what? We got all these characters, cram every single one of them in there.
Oh, that sequel was horrible.
Oh my God, that was another one of those.
That's
that
what
was just,
Street Fighter did too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the game, or the 90s, obviously we remember, as we're sitting here talking about, it was littered with garbage video game movies. I'm sure we can remember Double Dragon, even though we don't want
Oh
to.
my God, I don't remember that movie. Did
do
they
not
do it?
do not go out and watch that movie.
I remember The Wizard. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, we're talking about based off of
Super Mario
properties.
Bros. 3 was in it.
It was.
Super Mario Brothers.
See, at least that one
Trash.
was. I can watch it.
Trash.
I can watch it.
Trash.
As bad as it might be, I can at least watch it.
Come on, man. Just say it. I want to hear you say Super
not
Mario
calling it
Bros.
trash.
movie was trash.
I'm not going to call it
That
trash.
son of a bitch was trash.
No.
He said it. I got him to say it. Finally.
But I can watch it for whatever reason.
Well, I mean, I can watch.
I try to look at it through different glasses. Say,
You have
okay,
to.
don't look at it as a video game movie, dude. Look at it like this.
And then I go, it's still trash.
Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Did you know that there was behind the scenes drama on the set of Street Fighter?
Jean-Claude Van Damme was probably being a diva.
Kinda.
Aside from Raul Julia dying of stomach cancer at the time, too.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, yeah, he was in Bison, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was the best part of that movie.
And he was the best.
He's the best part of any movie.
Hell yes.
He was. I miss him. God rest his soul.
Anyway, an interview with the director of the film came out last week, shed some light on why the movie is probably not as good as it could have been. I'm sure that there are other reasons. I'm sure he's using some of these as deflectors and excuses. But anyway, he says that it stems from budgeting problems that resulted in some actors not being trained for stunt sequences until the day they filmed. There were script issues where actors didn't even know what character was theirs, which is terrible because you should know what actor or character you signed up for to act in the movie. So that's pretty pathetic. But the biggest issue, we go back to Jean-Claude Van Damme. We said he was a diva. No, he was coked out of his mind.
Oh, was he? Awesome.
Yes, during the entire shoot. So much so that they had to hire a handler just to deal with him.
That is awesome. And he just seems like that kind of guy. I bet he danced around and did the splits in his boots.
Well, they said he would disappear for
do coke.
days on end. He would show up late to the set. I think there was even a time where he said, this is one of his diva moments, is that he had to make sure that his muscles were buffed up before shooting. So they had to make sure they had a personal gym on set for him to be able to
That's
to
not
pump up
unusual, though. Like Jason Momoa, he does that. He actually said he did that for his character in Game of Thrones and Conan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say
But
that that's...
I think Jean-Claude
How
Van
he
Damme
would come
probably
off.
did it in a worse way.
Yeah.
I got to pump my muscles
I
up.
got to do this. Give me some coke.
Some coke. That pumped it up enough.
Now I want to watch that movie and go rock hunting.
Yeah. Because from I think the way the director explained it, it was at least $10,000 worth of coke a day.
Oh my God. How's he alive?
I don't know.
He was doing more than George Young.
But he could be, exaggerating, but still, that's insane.
Oh, I believe it. That's how he got that bump on his head.
Yeah.
It was a coke bump.
So, I kind of want to go back and see if I can tell him.
Oh, he is totally coked out in this
Yeah,
scene.
he is so wasted. All right.
The red eye.
Guess what time it is?
I'd buy that for $1.
Okay, so here's the thing, Epleb, if you don't know, I'm going to give you an item. You got to tell me if you're going to buy it or not. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I feel like
Ready.
this is there was not a whole lot to choose from this week.
That's okay.
So
It's
I'm going to
quality
kind of
over
hope.
quantity.
I mean, you kind of brought it up a little bit, so I'm kind of hoping maybe you haven't bought Friday the 13th yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And that's mainly because why?
Because the lawsuit, and they said there's going to be no more downloadable
As
content.
of right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of waiting to see how that goes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, what if you could get the game as it is now and all the content that they've already released right now,
Right.
and all the bonus stuff? Now, like a gold
the year.
edition or whatever.
Kinda like game
yeah.
of
Would
the
you
year.
get that one?
How much?
$69.99.
No.
But Epleb, would you buy that for $69.99?
$69.99?
Yeah. The game, just the game
No,
with
that's a tall price for that game. No.
well, with all the DLC and all that. No.
No.
Okay. Now what? All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sweeten it up. I'm gonna sweeten it up.
He's throwing something in.
What if you could get a Jason Voorhees replica mask?
I'm buying the shit out of it.
Okay, same price.
For $69.99 with the game and the DLC and an actual fit-to-size, life-size mask.
Is it a life size?
Yeah.
I'm buying it.
Get the mask. So you're in?
I'm in.
Okay, $69.99. You get the mask, the game, the whole kit and caboodle.
Where's this at?
I don't know yet.
They haven't even made it.
Well, they've announced trailers and whatnot, so
Shit,
it's
you're
out
lying
there.
to me.
I'm not lying to you.
I feel like
Go
this
out to
is never
GameStop.
gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
Can I pre-order it?
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Go do it right now.
$69.99.
Right
Doing
now.
it tonight. I'm going to Walmart.
Get you a Jason mask.
Which mask is it?
I think it's part 3. So, OG mask.
So the OG hockey mask with the triangle.
Yeah.
The first mask, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as it's got that patina to it.
Okay.
Yeah, the brownish, kind of yellowish.
It does.
And it's thick. I don't want
Should
a
be.
flimsy one.
Yeah, it didn't look like one of the cheap Halloween masks.
I want it. I want it right now.
Okay.
At my doorstep. I would pay $89.99 for it.
Okay, see? Wow, that's a first. You actually went up.
Yeah, I mean that's
Usually
to me,
you're like,
getting
hell
all the
no.
downloadable content, and I want the game anyway. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I almost went and bought it for $19.99 because I felt like it was a good price for it.
Yeah.
But I was kind of hesitant because they might stop supporting the game because of the lawsuit. So I didn't do it. Didn't pull the trigger. But now you have opened my eyes.
I have. See, it's
I'm
a good
still-
thing you didn't buy it for $20.
Yeah, that
now
is
you
good.
got a
That's
reason.
real. I'm glad I didn't because I'm probably going to buy this.
Okay. Now, when you do, I'm going to break in your house. I'm going to take that mask.
All right, just go buy it.
I've already got it.
You get the mask.
No, I've already got the
Is it
game.
not? Would you buy this for $69.99?
If I didn't have the game,
Why not buy it and then trade the game back in?
because no one's going to buy the game.
The GameStop will buy the game.
And then I'll get like $10.
You'll probably get $20 for it.
I doubt it.
No, listen, you're selling it with all the downloadable content, and it's still in the package. Hey, I want to trade this game in. Still in the package, got all the downloadable content with it.
I don't
give you
buy it.
$30 for it. That means you got a mask for $39.99. Would you buy that for $1, Stephen White?
No.
You're crazy.
Just saying. Probably not. I love it
Sound
and all,
like me
but
now.
no, I do. I'm being a penny pincher. So, all right. Time for release dates.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. I told you it didn't have a lot.
You didn't have a lot. You just had one. You could say
Yeah,
it's
but
got
I
one
sold
today.
the shit out of it,
You
too.
did. I bought the shit.
You are
That's
buying
2 weeks
it.
in a row I bought something.
right.
I'm broke.
All right, so some release dates. On July 24th, this is the game I'm excited about. It's probably going to eat up my life is until Spider-Man. Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2.
Okay, so this Mega Man X. That was probably one of my favorite ones to me.
I remember it being very hard as a kid, but
was.
I love it
They were
now.
all hard, though. Every Mega
Yeah,
Man game
oh
was
yeah.
hard.
But some kind of had varying difficulties.
Yeah, I like the just the different art style they took. Not really art. I guess it did have a different art style. He looked
slightly.
different. I always liked it how he looked better. In
Yeah.
that.
It was a little bit grittier, I guess.
Yeah.
But that will be for the
I think
PS.
it's kind of what all the fans of that terrible game that came out last year, the
Mighty Number 9.
Mega Man.
Yeah.
Right. I'm pretty sure this is the game that they all wanted. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, check it out, you fans, and this is probably the Mega Man that you were kind of imagining when they announced it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's anyway. This is coming for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Then we have the Banner Saga 3 coming for PS4, Semblance for Nintendo Switch and PC, Train Sim World for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, Earhart for PS4, Toby: The Secret Mine for Nintendo Switch, The Council Episode 3 Ripples for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and Aces of the Luftwaffe Squadron for Luftwaffe, I think it's German, for Xbox One and PC. Then on July 25th, we have the Candle, Power of the Flame for Xbox One, and Radiant 1 for Xbox One and PC. July 26th, Banner Saga 3 for Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Crossing Souls for Nintendo Switch. Marvel Powers United VR for PC. 2064 Read-Only Memories Integral. These names, I swear to God, sometimes. For Nintendo Switch. Sleep Tight for Nintendo Switch and PC. Candle Power of the Flame for Nintendo Switch. Mowing and Throwing for PC. Which I feel like we saw at PAX.
It sounds like a game,
But I can't remember.
Mowing and throwing.
Mowing and Throwing. Pixel Lines DX 500 more puzzles for Nintendo
500.
Switch. Just 500 more. July 27th, Hello Neighbor for PS4 and Nintendo Switch.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. Go Vacation for Nintendo Switch. The Banner Saga Trilogy Bonus Edition for PS4 and Xbox One. Final Light The Prison for Nintendo Switch. Tiny Hands Adventure for Nintendo Switch and PC. That sounds like Donald Trump. Element for Nintendo Switch. Then on July 31st, we have Chasm for PS4 and PC. Code of Princess EX for Nintendo Switch. South Park, The Fractured Butthole, Bring the Crunch DLC for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Pixel Ripped 1989 for PS4, PSVR, and PC. The Sims 4, Cats and Dogs for PS4 and Xbox One. 1979 Revolution for Black Friday for PS4, which I also feel like we saw at PAX. Castaway Paradise for PS4, Xbox One. And Titan Quest for Nintendo Switch. Then, in August, you get your Twitch Prime games. Do you want to hear what the Twitch Prime games are?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we've got Jotun Valhalla Edition. Valhalla. I'm sure I could have said that so much better, but I didn't. I said it really,
Did you say Valhalla?
Valhalla. Valhalla.
Valhalla?
Valhalla. It's that Jotun thing.
It is.
Hey. Death Squared, Anti-Hero, Wizardry Bundle, and SteamWorld Dig. Those are your wonderful Twitch Prime games for August.
Have they haven't announced PS Plus games, have they?
Not yet.
Yeah.
That'll probably be next week.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for the next favorite segment?
This is probably one of my favorites.
All right. It's time for...
What the hell did you just say?
Epleb, are you familiar with this?
No, sir.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I went through, since PC games, there are a lot of them, and there's a lot of just crazy names out there for PC titles, and you're like, what the hell is this? So what you're going to do, along with Todd, is I'm going to give you the name of a PC game that's coming out in the near future, and you've got to tell us, or tell the audience, tell me, what the game is supposed to be, based on the name, okay?
Got it.
All right, so first one is Head Snatchers.
I'll let him go first. He's the guest.
Epleb, go first.
It's a running platform game in which you are a feral monster of some sort, and you attack innocent civilians and cut off your head, and you get faster as you collect more heads and try to go as fast as you can without losing all the heads by being hit by an enemy.
This is what I think. That's
Okay.
a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go with him on the fact that it's a runner,
Okay.
and you're a porn star,
Okay.
and you just run around snatching head,
All right. Okay, I got you.
or they're trying to, just
I mean,
snatching
either
head.
way you spin
Yeah.
it, I can see it either way.
and they're both feral.
That's true. Loot Box Achievement Simulator.
My God,
It is a slot roulette simulator in which you get points by unlocking achievements by rolling the slot machine so many times.
I think it's I have no clue.
You have no clue?
I don't even know where to begin with like a loot box achievement simulator. Like, how do you simulate a loot box achievement?
I don't know. But, I mean, he kind of had something.
Yeah, but
You're not being very creative today.
I know, like, I'm stuck because I said last week it's maybe you manage a loot box.
Okay.
You know, like kind of like a Tiny Planes kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But you got nothing. It's okay.
But like that's what I'm going to go at again. Like
Okay. It's fine.
that same thing. It's like tiny loot box achievements.
All right, next game. Fortune and Gloria.
Fortune and Gloria is a quad X exploration, exploitive, explore, and expand simulator, much like Civilization 3 or Universalis Europa 4, in which you manage a family throughout the times and gain wealth and power and control armies and do the quad X thing.
And you just came up with that off the top of your head.
Yes.
You sent him these earlier.
Did I?
Fortune and Gloria is a how do you like an interactive novel?
Okay.
Fortune is the lady, Gloria is the dog.
Okay.
And she has a week. Gloria has a week to live.
All right then.
Yeah. And it's episodic.
Okay. I feel like this next game will be more up what you were trying to talk about earlier, Todd. Horny Fighter.
Oh, you fight with your cock.
Okay.
And it's just like it's an actual fighting game.
Okay.
Both of you fight with your cocks.
It's a fighting game involving horned animals,
There you go.
such as goats, cows.
That is it. That's exactly
He
it.
didn't have to turn it into anything wrong. Car Crash Online.
It's a multiplayer game, and it's like Demolition Derby. Oh, no. Can I
No,
change
you already
mine?
had no.
Shit.
It's
Damn
Epleb's
it. I
turn.
thought something way cooler. Go, Ep.
It is a virtual representation of Google Maps in which you can drive around on actual world open streets, but there's other cars that you can run around and crash into that are other people playing the same open world virtual map in your city. Sad thing is, it actually causes real car crashes in real life from people playing it on their phone too much.
All right. Super Nosebleed Land.
Epleb, I'll let you go first.
It is a roller coaster tycoon simulator in which you are also a drug mogul selling primarily cocaine.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme is your number one customer.
Yes, that and yeah, the other, yeah, okay, the other turn.
Nosebleed Simulator.
No, Super Nosebleed Land.
Oh, God, I'm stuck on a simulator. Super Nosebleed Land. It's kind of like that Cloudberry Kingdom. Mm-hmm. It's a platformer, and it makes no sense with the name.
Okay.
Like, you're just you're trying to save your world.
All right.
But it's called Super Nosebleed Land.
Are you a booger?
You're just a nose.
Okay.
And that's how they represent whether, your damage is how bad your nose is bleeding.
Fair enough. Okay. Don't play this game.
It's Blue Whale.
Very good.
It is Blue Whale. You can't top that.
No, that was
exactly it.
Spot on. Math Fun.
Math Fun? Mm-hmm. It's probably not even, it's probably like a Subway runner.
Okay.
But Math Fun.
Math Fun. It's a reimagination of Math Blaster from the really early 90s of the mech games.
That's probably
the educational games.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
I think it's a maze, and you have to answer math problems to get through the maze.
Okay.
In certain creative ways.
Good answer.
Very good.
Great answer.
Camping with girls.
Oh, that's definitely a virtual novel.
Virtual what?
In which you are the only boy set in an all-girls camp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
it. But you
Sadly,
have no
they're
penis.
all 10 years younger than him.
So it's Japanese.
Yeah, that'd be worse. Jelly wants more.
Oh, so this is your thing of jelly.
Okay.
It's a puzzle platformer, and you're looking for peanut butter. You have to collect peanut butter,
Okay.
and each level ends with you collecting all the peanut butter, and you have to jump onto a piece of bread.
So it's like a seagull lion bread.
Yeah, I guess you're
Okay.
making a sandwich.
Yep.
It is a co-op multiplayer up to 16 player games in which you have to feed an enormously large fat woman named Jelly, and Jelly just wants more. So you have to go out into the open world and find candy and food and cake and other fat things to keep her fat ass from running away, and that's literally the whole game until you either win the game
So it's
by
Fat
timeout,
Princess.
or she gets fed up and walks away because she's not fat.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that way better than mine.
All right. How about Boobser Man?
Boobser Man.
Uberman.
I'm thinking maybe you're just like a superhero. You're a deranged guy that thinks he's a superhero, and he dresses up like a pair of boobs when he has a cape. Mm-hmm. And I think then it's a platformer.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a straight platformer. No puzzles, really.
Gotcha.
Just a platformer. And then just the character is kind of cute.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is a top-down game, retro style, in which you go around an office building or a strip club or other various public locations and try to feel up on women's breasts.
So it's Japanese.
Probably. Hentai Battle Royale.
Oh, there's vines doing women everywhere. And that's
Porn,
really
the
how that
game,
stuff happens.
and tentacles.
Pretty much.
That's going to be a mature. That's probably an AO rating on that game.
Probably needs to be.
It's just going to be only on Steam, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Russian Subway Dogs.
Russian Subway Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is going to be named Vladimir. And
it's an open-world crime simulation game. I don't know why I keep saying simulation, but it's a crime game, much like Grand Theft Auto, but set in Russia. All the graphics are kind of wonky and janky. The controls don't quite work, and the loud techno music is always just a little bit too loud, and you can't turn it off.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Hungry Piggy Donuts Mania.
It's like Pac-Man, but you're a pig and you eat the donuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
4-person online hungry hippos.
Ding Dong VR.
Oh Lord, you look at a lot of this. If this is Japanese, then I'm gonna say you're like a young schoolgirl.
Okay.
And you have to find a way to sneak into the boys' bathrooms and sneak up on the guys while they're urinating. Look at their ding dong.
Okay.
It's a weird game.
Sounds like it.
Only on
I
Steam.
don't know if I'd want to play it.
Well, there's a lot of other stuff on Steam that I wouldn't want to play either.
Yep.
It's a role-play game where you are a child at Halloween and you're trying to find the house that serves the perfect hostess snack.
He just looked it up and read the thing.
Juan versus Juan.
It's two Mexicans.
Juan versus one or one versus Juan?
Juan versus Juan.
It's the Mexican spy versus spy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Kink shamed.
Kink shame?
Yeah. Kink shamed.
Chink Shing.
That's a tough one. I'm going to say... Go ahead.
It's a game in which you play an old man and you practice your Tai Chi moves in an open, relaxed courtyard.
Can't touch it.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with that.
Steamulator 2018. Steamulator.
I think you manage Steam games because there's so many. You have to pick which ones are crap and which ones stay.
Okay.
It's a cheap rehash of a game dev tycoon.
Okay. Call of Booty.
Oh, that's a... I mean, straight up, though, that's a porn.
Yeah, it is. But what do you do in this porn game?
This one, you're a pirate.
Okay.
And you sail the 7 seas looking for booty. All kinds of booty.
Gold
and booty.
Gotcha.
It's a visual novel that has absolutely nothing to do with World War II, the video game, nor pirates, nor anything else. In fact, it's about a socially awkward teenage boy going to a public school for the first time to interact with girls. It's actually really generic and has absolutely nothing to do with the title. They were just looking for clickbait.
Yeah, it worked.
Clever bastards. Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass.
Wow. This is kind of like that. Do you remember that MTV show, The Head?
Mm-hmm.
This is just like that.
Okay.
It's on the top of it's a mass on the side of his face. and it's kind of like it tells them where to go and what to do. You got to keep it controlled. Like it could grow and take over your whole body, and then when that happens, it's game over.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to keep him fed with these kind of. He likes candy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a platformer puzzler.
What was the full title again?
Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass.
Jimmy and the Pulsating Mask is a sequel to Boy and His Blob, in which it's just a platformer, and you have a small little mask that helps you transform and get through new areas of the way and progressing.
Good.
He's
good.
better at this than I am.
I've noticed.
Yeah, I just try to be stupid.
Yeah. It's
It's because I can't think of anything.
That's okay. Ketchum.
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 Ketchum is a game in which you're a customer at a diner, and your idea is to get ketchup, but your waiter keeps throwing it at your face every time he goes around the corner. He says catch, and then if you miss, he says up.
Yeah.
But if you get it, you get the ketchup, and then you get to put it on your French fries. It's an amazingly hard game, and you only get to win 1 out of 100 times because he throws it at you so fast and so unexpectedly. You never know when he's going to bring that ketchup to you.
You definitely gave him this list earlier.
Okay.
No, it's good.
you
I
got?
think this is a top-down grocery store, and you have to catch the shoplifters.
Okay.
Catch them.
Ketchum. All right. Last one I got here. Need a packet?
Why do they name these games so
I
stupid?
don't know.
What would she
Need
call
a
this?
packing
Need a packet.
is what it's called.
Question mark. Need a packet?
Oh God.
Make sure there's emphasis on that question mark.
Need a packet.
Need a packet?
You are a drug dealer. That's what you're just a drug dealer.
Okay,
You have to sell,
that's it.
and you have to use packets to sell your drugs. Hey man, you need a packet.
I mean, if you're going to be that blatant about it, why not just call it need a gram?
Need a gram, yeah. Because I don't know.
No, it's a game in which you're trying to cook ramen, but you lost the flavor packet. It's lost somewhere in your house, and you have to search through your house, which all has free physics objects that you can throw all over the place to find your packet of ramen.
Yeah.
And if you try to do it with no hints, but there's a guy on your couch, and you go to him, and he's like, "You need a packet," and then he gives you a hint where it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where the question mark comes in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, like I said, there's emphasis on that question mark.
we teamed up on that one.
All right, good.
Do you
Good
like
job.
do you like how we did that?
Yeah.
It's
So it's
episode
all about
50.
ramen. Finding
Yeah,
ramen.
Just about it. Yeah.
I think finding ramen
I like
sounds like a
that one.
better
There's
title.
no wrong answers.
No wrong answers.
No
This is
wrong
my
answers.
favorite
It's
kind of
always
test.
fun. Okay, we're gonna move on to our last segment. Now, I don't have any game reviews, but I did want to do something special for our 50th, and I felt like this could be something that you guys could kind of chime in on as well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'd been talking about wanting to do retrospectives of some kind, and I felt like, looking back on so many old games throughout the episodes, I realized that there were a lot that really aren't worth talking about on their own. And there's actually a lot of developers out there and companies that used to be prominent in the beginning, and they're no longer around. So that led me to looking back at these long forgotten companies and their legacy, no matter how bad it might be. To kick this idea off, I thought there was no better candidate than LJN.
Whoa, that's a game company, right?
It was.
Yeah, I remember them.
Now, before I dive into their vast library of video games, let's go back to the beginning for a little perspective. Their company was founded in 1970 by Jack Friedman. Friedman had been working as a sales rep for another toy company, which was Norman J. Lewis Associates, who manufactured no big toys of note that I could ever find. They had a few recalls. Now, the Norman J. Lewis Associates actually financially backed Friedman's idea, and because of that, that's where the company received its name. You just reverse the letters, Norman J. Lewis, LJN. So there you go. There's a little trivia if you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until now.
The more you know.
It's interesting.
Now, Friedman had a keen eye on identifying potential blockbuster hits, and with that talent, he actually focused the company's efforts on licensing. One of the company's first big licensing hits was merchandise from E.T., and by 1983, they had attained $51 million in sales.
Wow. I'll just stop right then.
Well, they should have, but this attracted the attention of another company, MCA Incorporated, who was not only the parent company of Universal Pictures at that time, but also in the market for acquiring a toy company. Now, in 1985, MCA acquired about 63% interest in LJN Toys and relocated the company in Southern California. With a giant movie company now at their fingertips, licensings of all sorts of toys could be had. It wasn't until 1987 that LJN really dove into the video game market, where they began making games for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Their first attempt at this was a video adaptation of Jaws.
I knew it.
Now, it was a basic game, if you remember this. Epleb, did you ever play Jaws on the NES?
Jaws, yes, I played that one. That was a terrible game.
Now, for those who don't know, it was a basic game where you took your boat from one port to another and back again. Just back and forth between two ports, all while being attacked by sea creatures, or if you're lucky, Jaws. Eventually, you level up enough, and I say that in the biggest quotation marks imaginable, because leveling up essentially means going from one port to the other and collecting conch shells in between and hoping that you can level up. It's a weird system. Anyway, you level up enough to be strong enough to defeat Jaws, by which I mean shoot him enough times until you shift into the final conflict, where you must essentially make Jaws jump out of the water and stab it with your boat, much like they did in Jaws 4. Now, I know that it was probably a terrible game. I've got a lot of childhood nostalgia glasses. Yeah. I had it. I probably played it more than I ever should have. So I remember it not being, for me, it was like, it was all right, but I can't really defend it either because I know how bad it is. It's just like when I look back on it, I was like, yeah, I played it. You know, I got my time in on it. So anyway, it wasn't a great game. Wasn't the best either. It was what it was.
That's all we had back then, though.
Yeah, exactly. So you just kind of did with what you had. Now, this game was quickly followed up with a few other titles like The Karate Kid, which was atrocious.
Terrible.
Gotcha, which I think I remember the title, but I don't ever remember playing it. I think it was like paintball or something.
I was going to say, I remember the paintball splatter on the gotcha.
Yeah, so something like that maybe. Town and Country Surf Designs.
Oh, I had that game.
You ever remember that?
Yeah, the gorilla and the dude with the hair.
Yeah.
Almost like an Elvis kind of looking guy with
and it was either skateboarding or surfing.
Oh, well, was there anything else?
I feel like that was it.
Yeah, I think it was just those two.
And then Major League Baseball.
Uh-huh.
Now, none of these games were actually groundbreaking nor incredibly terrible either, except for The Karate Kid. It wasn't until April of 1989 that the company's meteoric rise to infamy really took off when they released Friday the 13th. This game is one of the most notoriously bad video games ever made, mainly due to its aimless premise and frustrating gameplay.
Oh, it's terrible.
It found its way to earning a so-called so bad it's good cult status over the years, but no one will ever tell you that it's a good game. Now, after the game NFL, this was actually one of the last games developed by Atlas for LJN. That's right, kids. If you didn't know that, fun fact, LJN never developed one single game in-house. They were all outsourced to another company. But never credited. But they were never credited.
Oh, wow.
So, there's a fun little fact for you.
And Atlas is still around.
Yeah, doing a lot better now. Other companies that were actually roped into developing games based off of license were Rare. They did Who Framed Roger Rabbit and A Nightmare on Elm Street, which the last one, the latter, I was actually surprised by. I did not realize they had any hand in Nightmare on Elm Street. Not that, again, they pointed it out, but even kind of Roger Rabbit kind of had hints of Rare behind it. You know what I mean? Like you could tell there was something familiar about it.
I don't remember the Nightmare on Elm Street. Was it?
It was the first game that actually showcased 4 players. Like you had to buy an adapter and you could play with 4 players. I never played it.
Yeah, I never played it.
So it was terrible from what I recall. Beam Software was another one. They took on titles like Back to the Future and The Punisher, both terrible games.
I remember Back to the Future because I remember you had to do a certain thing, get your hook on that thing as you're going through the square.
I don't even think I got that far. Eventually, after years of profit loss, mainly due to the fallout surrounding toy guns made by LJN's Intertech division, MCA sold LJN to Acclaim Entertainment in 1990. Now, Acclaim is another company I'd like to talk about within this segment in the future, but for now I'm going to try to stay focused on LJN because they have their own mess to talk about. Now, under Acclaim, LJN's entire toy division was shut down, thereby making LJN a fully focused game publisher. LJN continued working with the outside developers like Software Creations, Bit Studios, and Sculptured Software, releasing games on more platforms like the Game Boy, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo, all games based on franchises like Spider-Man, Wolverine, Beetlejuice, the NBA, former WWF, and even the incredible Crash Test Dummies.
Yeah, I remember.
So that shows you how far their licensing reach went. Now, by 1995, LJN was folded into Acclaim and essentially ceased to exist. Although its name actually made a brief return in 2000 when Acclaim used the brand to publish the Dreamcast port of Spirit of Speed 1937. Then in 2014, independent game developer Collector Vision Games acquired the LJN brand name and logo for some reasons unknown to me. I couldn't find any reason.
Perhaps it was just to make them stop making games, period.
To burn it all.
Just put the knife in and twist it and confirm it's dead.
Now, seeing as how the company rose and fell in such a way, actually looking through this, it's actually kind of a sad thing in hindsight, because here was this burgeoning toy company, found major success, only to be bought up by a bigger company, thrown into an arena that it didn't belong, and eventually being consumed by that company that ran it. It sounds like this is a lesson other companies should take note of, as something like this would never happen again, right?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, hint.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. Just looking back at LJN, I remember, I think it was actually probably one of the first companies I actually took note of and said, their games suck.
Yeah.
Because there were so many just turds. X-Men. I remember wanting to play that so bad, and I was like, what the hell is this crap? It's just so disappointing.
Yeah, there's so many games back then like that, though.
Yeah.
They were just terrible.
I mean, these were essentially the equivalent of an asset flip today on Steam.
Right.
That's how bad they were.
Like a money grab.
Yeah. And it all because of a license.
And you think, and I'm pretty sure all the ones that were on Nintendo had that seal of approval on it.
They did. They could not get
Can you
through
name
without
a
that seal.
good LGN game? Like one that you actually might have enjoyed, even just a little bit?
Well, like I said,
Jaws.
there was that Jaws thing, but even that's kind of iffy. I remember always going back to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, even though I knew it was kind of crap.
It was, but it was okay.
It had its moments.
Back then.
Yeah.
That's probably the one game that they kind of got right.
And I feel like if I really dug through some of their games, all right, I'll give you this one. I was now kind of thinking about on some of their franchises. Spider-Man. There was a Spider-Man game that came out on the Super Nintendo, not Maximum Carnage, even though that I did play that one a bit, but it was based off of the animated series that was on television at the time. I played the hell out of it.
Return of the Sinister Six?
Was it? No, I think that was the one they had on the NES. This was just Spider-Man, but it was based on the 90s animated series. And I remember playing the hell out of that. Even though he kind of looked stupid, like his stance looked like he had to...
The poop.
Yeah, like he was just sitting there like with constipated or something like that.
Like he was really grunting.
Yeah, like he's just like, God, I gotta go pee, and, poop real bad.
Yeah.
Just the way he's kind of standing. But, I mean, it was a fun game for me. I mean, there wasn't a great Spider-Man game up until, I think, the PlayStation N64 days when that one Spider-Man game came out.
Spider-Man 2.
Just Spider-Man. It was just, I mean, at the time, you weren't able to be Spider-Man in that way. And then when Spider-Man 2 from the movie came out, it was like, oh my God, this is groundbreaking.
Right.
But you just kind of took what you could get. So that Spider-Man game to me at the time was fun. Because I had such a love and affinity for the series that was on television. Playing a game based on that series was fun.
Right.
So, all right, I'll give it that one. How about that? I'll give you that one.
They can have that one. The baseball game was pretty good.
Major League Baseball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, baseball games are kind of hard to mess up.
Yeah, you think, but I heard Major League Baseball.
I mean, I've seen some messed up ones, sure, but yeah.
And I actually think I played Major League Baseball. I don't remember and looking back on it, I was like, oh, yeah, it kind of looked familiar.
If I remember right, that one was kind of hard because they kind of tried to make it. It felt kind of more realistic at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember it. It was pretty good.
Well, that's our show, guys.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
Number 50 in the books.
Yep.
All right, I'd like to thank all of our listeners who come back every week and support our show. We reached 50 episodes because you kept us going and letting us know you're there. If you're interested in supporting our show, you can go to patreon.com/pencilandpaperproductions or pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com and then click the button at the top, Become a Patron. Also, if you have a topic you'd like to discuss, you want to share something with us, video game related, or just want to say hi, you can hit us up on Twitter at SuperMegaCrash. Or if you're an old-fashioned type of person and want to send an email, you can do that at supermegacrash@gmail.com. Listen to this and other shows like Fandom Ultra 2000 on the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, found on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Lastly, before we go, just want to let everyone know we will be on hiatus for the next few weeks, taking a much-needed break during the slow news cycle, but we will return to you on August 27th, breaking down all the big news out of Gamescom.
Gamescom. A lot of stuff coming from that. Possibly see the new Xbox.
Perhaps. Anything you're looking forward to at Gamescom yet?
No, I haven't heard any of the titles being announced, but I'll be keeping an eye out and seeing if there's anything that I like.
That and so much more to come later this year. Thank you so much for listening. I am Stephen White.
And I'm Todd Stark.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, well, you can find me at twitch.tv/Epleb.
Join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then, game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.